What do you guys give me if I kill that bird?
Barbara, that's a bald eagle.
Get away, Baldy! Yeah!
This is The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve. GovsRadio.com. We are live here tonight on Facebook, on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and share the show as soon as the opening music cuts out. Tonight, we have the part 2 of the redo, if you saw the post out there. Part 2. Like Naked Gun part 33
right.
and a third. Hot Shots
part 2.
That's right. I had to do something special because there are many people out there that did not hear our guest that we have on tonight.
Well, here's the problem.
Hold on. Are we on the metaverse yet? When do we get on the metaverse?
What's the metaverse?
Yep.
Can you explain such things?
It's that thing. It's that thing you do.
Oh, it's like the Facebook verse.
Metaverse.
I have no idea where you're coming from this.
Meta.
And as you may have heard at the top of the show, give out a Wilhelm scream. We have Chris Fabler on tonight with us, live from Albany, or a subsidiary thereof. Right, yeah. One of the nice little places up there in the upstate area, in the capital region, we'll call it. But before we get to Chris, we have some sponsors. Steven, take it away with Rosie's Draft Solutions. Coming on for 2022 Season 5 of The Wort.
Man, we are so happy. Rosie's Draft Solutions is a Long Island family-owned business that provides professional draft beer system services, line cleanings and maintenance, draft beer line system installs, event dispensing solutions, and more. They are passionate about craft beer and making sure it has the same quality as when it left the brewery, and is only done by one way, and that's making sure those draft beer lines are perfectly clean. Rosie services bars, restaurants, halls, events, and all other beverage establishments, including home kegerator systems. They service the likes of W.A. Meadworks, 1940s Brewing, Blue Point, Darling, Mauritius Field, Hopwinds, and of course our buddies at Hopscotch Bottle Ship.
That's right.
We love those boys. You can reach them at rosiesdraftsolutions@gmail.com or give them a call at 631-219-2075, Monday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Mention the Wort, get a little bit of discount. Maybe they'll give you a slap on your buttocks and send you on your way.
And at least you have clean lines at that point. So
we
tell Nick
definitely
the Wort sent you and get a little special discount, as Steven said. Peter, take it away with Beer Maker.
Beer Maker. I'm getting ready to do my second brew of Beer Maker. Very excited. Your all grain at home countertop brewing system.
It's going to be so good.
It's going to be so tasty. And we got those new probiotics. Not probiotics.
Well, it would be nice if they were probiotics, but no, they're actually enzymes.
Enzymes, thank you.
Yes,
enzymes
some enzymes that actually help drop out any of these bad proteins and off flavors out of the beer, and just make the beer even better than what it was.
More gooder.
The gooderest version of your Beer Maker at-home system. New products available. They have a growler and bottle filling. If you plan on
they have a
doing your own.
That's right, the new bottle. And from what I saw, you could also use it for kegs.
That's right. It was kegs and bottles. If you're going to cap your own bottles, or if you're going to keg it.
That's crazy.
Yep. Beer Maker. Promo code the Wort for a little discount
spelled?
on the.
How's that spelled? Beer.
BER MKR.
There you go. Beer Maker.
Beer Maker Promo code the Wort for a discount on your unit there.
There it is.
On your
All
unit.
controlled by apps.
All controlled by the apps.
All controlled by the apps.
I love that's on your unit.
We are also tonight sponsored by Brewbag. Brewbag for your beer pong
Brewbag.
cornhole. Go to brewbag.com and in the promo code type in the Wort. Receive 10% off your Brewbag today. You can get them customized, decals, all that good stuff. It's beer pong plus cornhole plus shenanigans. Go to brewbag.com for yours today. Also sponsored by vintagebeershirtclub.com. Vintagebeershirtclub.com for your vintage beer shirt. Again, promo code the Wort and receive a little percentage off your discount. No, you get a discount. You don't get a percentage. Then they're off then the discount. That doesn't make any sense now I'm thinking about it.
Well,
so I have to rearrange the wording on that one.
Maybe.
Even though I don't read it at all. Tonight we're also sponsored by Brewers Hardware. Brewers Hardware for your small batch or large capacity needs. Go to Brewers Hardware. A lot of our brewer friends here on Long Island and beyond use Brewers Hardware for their brewing needs. So go to Brewers Hardware, type in promo code the Wort, and receive percentage off your discount. We're also introducing the one I wanted forever, Physics.
Oh.
Physics. This is your
You've been using that bitch.
for like a year and a half.
Yes. And you love it.
I love that physics. So if you have a
that
crowler, you have a 750, you have a 250, whatever you have, even a 16-ounce can is worth it.
It goes up to, what, 32 ounce?
You can go into a full 750 bottle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And then you got beer right on tap right there. Go to physics.com, type in the promo code The Wort, receive 20% off your Physics today.
Nice.
They're not expensive. They're under $100 to get one of the systems, and they're battery operated. Take it on the go, bring it tailgating, bring it everywhere.
Do you know if they're still available
Physics.com.
Well, besides physics.com,
Right.
They were available at Best Buy for the longest time.
Get out of here. They had a deal with them, huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Because that's where I originally had seen them was at Best Buy, and then after you had said, I have this thing and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
fantastic.
Oh,
Geek Swat over here is checking it out. He's got
sure
a...
am.
do it, bitch.
You damn
And then I'm
right.
going to find out what the employee price
Oh, by the way,
Is
just
it
so you
20%?
know,
Yeah.
we might actually have some surprise callers in today.
Oh, so there you go. Thanks a lot for setting that up. This is The Wort with Mike Pete and SteveGoesRadio.com. We are live on Facebook and we're live on YouTube. We are taking phone calls tonight. The number is right down there at the bottom of your screen, 516-465-3990. Call in, ask your questions. We have Chris from the up in Albany,
Chris!
New York. Actually, it's Del Mar, as he said. And Chris, we have to first get the elephant out the fucking room because I know I done fucked up because I didn't do my checks and balances like a good engineer should.
Yeah.
We had an awesome time with you.
We did, Chris.
Back
We
in
did.
July. And I'm sad to say that we had lost the show due to technical difficulties.
We get to do it again.
But we do
What-
get to do it again.
When you mean technical, do you mean mic difficulties?
Yes,
or-
yes.
okay,
I did
all
not
right.
click a button that should have been clicked.
I'm just trying to get,
And
make sure we get that right.
what people heard throughout the night, and I did not check the face tubes and the Insta fucks and all that stuff.
And it was and as everybody knows, Mike is great at doing this. And it really was a 1 in a million shot where we had we lost power and kind of shit like went out for a moment.
Yep.
And it's just that one thing you forget to do.
Yeah.
Because we were so excited to
Rushed.
have Chris on and we were talking, we were having a great time and it went fucking south.
We were rushed to get that show back up because we
Oh,
started
yeah.
the show. We were about 10 minutes in. And
Yeah, we were like, oh, shit.
And that really was upsetting. Chris, I first want to say sorry about that. I know we talked after the show that night, and I apologize. We had a nice long conversation. But the benefit to all this is maybe we'll do a much better interview now that we're more prepared.
A much more better.
And more gooderer.
Yes.
And we get to have more of your beer, which was the
Which-
highlight
ooh,
of
yeah.
our night
Pretty
back
much.
in July.
That might have actually been our plan the whole time to actually have more of the beer that you produced because it was so good the first time. Now we're going to do it again.
Yes, Chris, how you doing?
Yeah, I had my suspicions about that.
Ah, see, you're onto us, bro. You're onto us.
So, Mike, did you click the button this time?
But hey, listen, I'm all I'm seeing right now is wave files, and the wave files are looking good. And the
Gotcha.
audio and video is going out to the intertubes. I'm going to actually share the show to our page on Facebook right now before I forget.
And before you shit your pants again.
Oh boy, yeah, well, that's going to happen.
Yeah,
The dog looks
we know
Chris's
that already.
dog looks suspicious.
We already know this already.
So, Chris, you brought to us some amazing beer. We were extremely happy with what we had. Let's go backwards and go back through exactly how this all got started, because you are quickly approaching your 1 year anniversary coming up on November 25th. We'll talk about your 1 year anniversary party in a little bit, but bring us up to date. How did this all get started, and where did this all come from?
Yeah.
So I've been brewing professionally for almost a dozen years now.
Wow.
And I got started as a home brewer. My brother got me into it. I'd been into craft beer since I was a teenager, and I got a job right out of college at a place called Cooperstown Brewing Company.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. That's awesome.
Out in central New York. I know you guys call upstate what we call downstate. But,
Well, anything that's north of Westchester is upstate to us. That's pretty much how
it works.
Yeah, how it works.
We'll agree to disagree.
Wait, so you guys in that area, you upstate, you're thinking Buffalo, right? When someone says upstate?
No. Come on. Albany, Capital Region.
Yeah.
That's Western New York.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, that's true. Yeah, what am I talking about?
there.
I don't know my New York
He's
geography.
thinking like Fredonia is upstate.
Canada? It's Canada.
Damn, baby. That's the Adirondacks. That's different.
Oh, that's true. Well, I mean, we whenever we leave Long Island, it's new territory. When we get off of an island and onto the mainland, like we're just seafaring sailors, sometimes it really messes with our geography and what we're doing.
Terra incognita.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Mike, can you push the button so it goes off again? So we could do this one more time?
What's the matter?
This beer is so good.
It's good.
Which one did you pour?
The very first one.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
The pale.
Jesus.
So we might have to do this again.
Cut. All right, cut. Chris, we're going to schedule in another 4 months.
Sorry,
Nice and
bro.
dry.
Just give us an excuse to get up there again. You got to come with me.
How come I don't get to push any buttons?
No.
Well, if you want, you can, but
I think on the last show we made you an honorary Wort. I think that's what happened.
True. I was petitioning heavily for it.
yes.
And we're going to have a lot of callers asking for the same.
Yes.
I didn't kind of finish my my whole history.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Which I would think I would have down to like a kind of succinct couple of sentences by now, but I'm a disorganized person.
Good. We have 2 hours to get
Yeah.
All right. Good.
undisorganized.
All right. The day I was born. But no, so I was brewing in like central New York for a couple of years. Then I got a head brewer gig down at Robin Hood Brewing Company, which is a little brew pub down in Bellefonte, PA, right outside of Penn State College, PA. Check them out. And a couple of years ago, I decided it was time to kind of strike out on my own. I moved back to my hometown right outside of Albany and started work on the Warbler.
Yes.
So that brand concept comes from me being a little nature nerd when I was a kid and wanting something kind of natural as part of the brand, just as kind of a tribute to my homecoming and frankly because birds make for good art and I wanted the cans to pop. So I reached out to an old friend of mine, Ian Tartaski. Check him out on Instagram at Ian Tartaski. I'll let you figure out how to spell it or read it off the can.
Luckily, it's on the can.
Or read it, yes, or you get it off the can.
Yeah. Put it in the show notes, guys.
Yes.
I never know where the show notes are, but put them in there.
We don't do any pre-production, so it's going to be tough to find some notes available.
Well, you never know.
No, I all of them. I like how they're all a little different, but they're all a different little bird. They're fucking cool. This one, I think, is my favorite on the Flurpee there.
And what? Not to cut. Did we lose you, Chris?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. What I did find out after our first, iteration of that we did, and we had a great time. I actually found about warblers, and there actually certain warblers are on the borderline of being extinct.
Huh.
Which I was like, really? Because the can art tells me that they're really fucking being awesome and they have great beer in them. And then I was very, dismayed that warblers are a bunch, and there's so many different species of warbler, not species, but different genus.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Genii.
Genii.
Sure.
Or genie. But yeah. And thank you. Thank you for making me be aware of warblers.
Yeah, well, songbirds in small passerine birds of all kinds are having a tough time of it right now with climate change and habitat destruction and house cats, and they have a whole
feral motherfuckers.
Life cycle.
Yeah.
But we suck. But there are a lot of very successful warbler species still, so
that's great.
That's a good thing.
Yes,
a lot of them are moving north to traditional ranges.
Yeah.
And then there's those goddamn hounds that get them.
Mailman's here.
Yeah, we have Rex the brew dog in the house.
What's up?
Nice.
His mom is not here to entertain him right now, so, he's gonna be so I hope you guys like howling.
Yeah, well, we love the doggies.
Just try to join in if he goes.
Oh. He's saying, beer? Where's mine? Beer? Where's mine?
Well, he knew I was getting off on that eco tangent.
He's like, I like warblers too.
Well, speaking of which, we had tornadoes down here on Long Island, and we never get them, but we got them.
We got them now.
There's something to say for something going on out there, for sure. And it's affecting a lot of the, we could call it climate change, but it's affecting ecosystems
and
tremendously.
Habitats, yeah.
And it's a problem. And we've had a bunch of, for instance, the bats, right? We have a society that protects the bats. We have societies.
Vampires. They're called vampires.
No. The Bats and Brews Festival is all about the Bats Conservatory.
Saving the bats, man.
Yeah,
they eat the bugs that eat us.
Help it.
The mosquitoes specifically. They love a good mosquito.
Fucking
It's delicious.
blood-sucking
I hate those
Who
guys.
doesn't?
And but that's again something to be done for what's happening out there in the world is protection of these endangered species. And as Steve said, several of these elements of the warbler are not going to be around for much longer if we don't protect them. Right, Steve?
I thought you meant that for Chris.
No, it's for you because you said it.
And it was so odd that right after the show, I stumbled upon this, and it was probably something I saw on Facebook or whatever.
There it is.
But yeah, out of nowhere, I see these things about warblers and how they're like endangered. Certain again genus of them are like there's only a couple of hundred of them left,
right?
And that's in the Northeast, so it's really in our region that something like this is happening, and who the fuck would have known?
Yeah. Chris, you were talking about coming up through the ranks at Cooperstown, at Robin Hood. Give us a little background on those. How did you get into Cooperstown to start?
I walked in, I asked for a job. I was returning a keg. And I asked for a job. The guy
You
said,
sure
"I like
you
the
were
way
returning it?"
speak." And then I spent the summer there doing their little they have like a little league tournament up there.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah,
So
no
I
one
was,
knows about that yet. That's it.
I would.
Did it really get
behind
crazy
the
up
bar
there
for the-
during those
that?
times, during that season? Did it really get crazy? Were people really?
Yeah, I know. It was awful.
It was bananas. Okay.
Yeah,
Shit with bananas.
a lot of people coming in from all over the U.S. Really, really not wanting to listen to what you had to say about beer.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, where's my son playing? Yeah.
I mean, my perspective is most things are awful. So yeah, we're a really positive start. We got the
So I take back what I was going to say about we'll do this interview better this time.
the dogs.
And we had
howling.
such high hopes.
Well,
For
let's,
me,
let's
for
talk
us.
about the beer.
No, we're going to get.
Oh my God!
we
Well,
gotta get-
try to put a
Chris.
positive fucking spin on.
Well,
the show.
Chris came up to the ranks through Cooperstown, and
Right.
he was telling us about his time there. I want to hear more about that.
And not everybody heard the conversations we had last time because somebody didn't push the button.
All right, about the button. Button
Well,
the button.
let's move on from Cooperstown
Yes.
to my next gig, which was Butternuts Beer and Ale.
Oh,
which is,
shit. Yeah.
A cool production brewery out in the boonies in Garrettsville, New York. I'm sure
Yep.
we've all heard of it.
Yes.
Population like 50,
I vacation there often.
but yeah.
No, do you really?
No.
Oh, I thought you
Fucking
Because sometimes
liar.
Peter delivers those lines, and we're like,
And we're
yeah,
like,
right.
really? Oh.
And he really has. He was like, yeah, no, I'm there every year.
How many years were you at Butternuts?
I was there 3.5, 4 years.
Wow.
When was the last year you were there?
2013.
Oh, okay. Now I was only because I know a couple of breweries from here on Long Island were contracting up in Butternuts for a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How big is?
Yeah.
But that was later on. That was
Yeah, but at the time, Chris, how big was the facility? Could it handle contracting?
We maxed out at, I think, just under 15,000 barrels a year, which sounds like a lot and felt like a lot, but you know, for a production brewery, that's still small to mid-sized.
Yeah.
It was really cool. You know, in a barn, we were canning. Maybe you've seen Pork Slap Pale Ale.
Pork Slap was a big one we've seen
down to the metro area.
Yeah, that was around.
I was slinging Pork Slap.
They had several iterations of something like that with the pig on it, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, oh yeah.
No.
Big
I
slap
remember seeing Pork Slap, but then it was a couple other ones that had that pig or something like that on it.
Which the one with the pig with the cigar? Oh, yeah. Remember?
Yeah.
It was that Great South Bay doing?
No.
Was that a local brewery though, doing like a brown or a stout?
No, that was
Brown sugar stout, something porter.
Shit, man, now you got me.
Yeah, it's definitely something local.
I could see that pictured in my
Me
head.
too.
That little.
He looks like a little gangster pig with like the hat and the cigar.
Are you thinking of Smoking Al's Barbecue?
No,
it does look like Smoking House Barbecue, but there was definitely a local beer that had that same logo thing on there.
Didn't you? You guys did Pork Slap. Didn't you like a Hefeweizen or something like that?
Pennywise.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Love me
cool.
some Pennywise.
What was that?
Close.
Yeah, it's still it's
It's
a,
Hefeweizen.
Pig.
so up at Butternuts. Well, what was the big thing that you experienced? What was the thing that kind of changed or impacted you the most, and something that you might have brought to the Warbler?
I think my big takeaway there, a couple. First, that you had better come correct with branding. They had excellent packaging there early on. They were one of the first breweries on the East Coast in cans.
Yes.
And
Yes.
their labels were
12
super vibrant.
12 ounce cans, right?
Yeah, 12
Yeah,
ounces.
yeah,
I
man.
think they do some 16s now. I'm not sure. Blacklight glow cans, which was fun to take to parties.
That's kind of cool.
See, I fucking didn't know that. I wish I
didn't know that.
would have known that back then. I would have been all high and with the black light going in,
Moving the can around, like
drinking the piggy beers.
How about it?
yeah.
Dude,
What was the beer in that one?
What's that?
What was the beer in the Blacklight can?
All four of their core brands glowed.
Oh, shit. That's fucking
They
cool.
might still. I don't think they charge any extra for that print.
What was the? Is it something that's done by the printer? Or did they do that themselves, the brewery?
No, the printer does it.
Oh,
It's like a box you can just check.
Oh, and black light.
I don't want to buy like the truckload.
I wonder why no one else does that then. That's fantastic.
For
Maybe they
hippies,
do.
yes.
Yeah.
You guys got to start running a blacklight over stuff more.
No, I know. No, you don't now, Chris.
Well, Chris, I have a couch in this room here.
Yeah, and you.
I'm very much afraid of doing that. I don't know if you could see it in this shot. No, you can.
No.
I don't have the camera tilted down. But
Actually, right now, even where my arm is, I
Yeah.
don't even want a black light. So that's what I'm going to say.
there's where Steven's sitting, and right to his left
and-
is the couch over there somewhere.
We sublet studio space from Brazzers. Just
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's why everything smells kind of weird in here. It's not me. It's not my farts.
why does it smell like bleach?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Chris, so you working at Cooperstown, you ended up Butternuts. What was Robin Hood like? Was that in between them, or was that after the fact?
Robin Hood was after. So,
Okay.
so I went from Butternuts. I got my like beer education at Butternuts.
Go.
And then Robin Hood was like my first head brewer gig. So I was there for 7 years. And
Oh, yeah, man.
Wow. And what was your head brewer? Was some of the recipes that you're working on now, some of the ones that you kind of tested out or trialed out over at Robin Hood?
I mean, the whole thing was like a lab experience. You know, it's a small brewery with a lot of fermenters, so you have to put a lot of different recipes, you know, in package, and that was really cool. But no, the Warbler is all new stuff. And it was just time to kind of move on from a little more of like a pub ale focused product mix into what we're featuring today.
And what was Robin Hood's ethos? Was it like IPAs? Was it just bar style beer, pilsners, kolsches? What was their thought process and their end result of what they wanted to do?
It was a mix. So they had two restaurants. They had their main restaurant was called something else. It's called Home Delivery Pizza. I think it's since closed. And then Robin Hood is still there. Both of those bars had 27 plus taps.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I got to occupy as many of them as I wanted to make beers. And,
Now, were you making the recipes, or were they already?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we have some places here on Long Island that the head brewer is really not in charge of the recipe making.
Yep.
It's kind of given to them or what they want, and they really don't have as much leeway as you would hope a brewer would have to do amazing stuff. And I think it does hold people back. So I'm glad to hear that they kind of let you off on your own.
Yeah, I got a lot of creative control, and that was a big thing for me.
Yeah,
really helped me develop.
Now, the whole time you were there, did you have in the back of your head like, I need to do this on my own. I need to have my own place?
That's I think always the dream for a brewer.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'd wanted a brew pub since I was like 17, 18. And
Okay.
This isn't a brew pub. Having finally worked at a brew pub, I decided I didn't want to manage
a whole restaurant, right? Two different businesses. Sure.
So I ended up just going with pure brewery, little tap room, and I'm happy with that.
Bring in the food truck. Let them worry about.
Yeah. That's right.
So actually, when I was up there just a week or so ago, you guys had a food truck on Saturday. This is a relatively new thing for you guys at this point. Give us a little, heads up on kind of where that puts you right now in regards to how you want to address the food situation at the brewery.
Yeah, we're gonna be into food trucks in a much bigger way going forward. It's something that we should have been doing before. I won't get into why we weren't, but we are now. And
that's all that matters.
Yeah.
What you're doing now.
Yep.
Yeah, we knew we should have been, and we weren't for reasons that we don't need to
for reasons.
Just
for reasons.
For reasons.
Just for the renow.
Yeah.
All good.
But it's working out great, and we've now had two food trucks come. Both of them have been pleased with the results, and they're both scheduled to come back this month. So
that's awesome.
You can see Mud Daddy Flats quesadillas, best quesadillas in the world, on November 20th for our anniversary.
For what's on November 20th, Chris?
Say again.
What's on November 20th?
What's coming up on
That's
November 20th?
our anniversary celebration.
Oh, party at the Warbler.
Guys, you're going to want to come up for this.
Listen, if I didn't have children, I would be there. Unfortunately.
Do you like glassware?
Wait, hold on. I don't, my kids are old, so.
Yeah, you can go up there. Yeah, I've been up there. Now it's time for you guys to head up there. I've been up there twice.
The 20th.
No one's inviting me down there.
Come down tomorrow.
You know what? I'm coming down on the 20th.
No, don't do that.
Wait.
Someone's going to be looking around like, where's Chris? What happened?
Wait, isn't Chris? No, I'm sorry. He's going down.
No.
He's going downstate.
Well, we don't have a show on the 20th, so it might be a little bit of a letdown, but we have plenty of breweries you can get drunk at, so for sure.
Sold.
Done. So bring us up to date. You had your opening on November 25th, 2020, just coming out of
what do we got going on
like
here?
some sort of COVID era at that point. How long was building the system? How long was building up to where you were going to open? What was that process like before we get? Well, actually, you know what? Let me get back to that question because that's a long question to answer. We do have someone that called in. This is the Word with Mike Pete and Steve GovsRadio.com. Who's this?
Hey, it's Paul from Ghost.
Hey,
Paulie!
Paulie's on the phone.
Not like I didn't see you a few hours ago.
Chris,
Hey,
this
yeah,
is
long time no see, buddy.
Chris, this is Paul from Ghost Brewing Company right here in Bayshore, Long Island, hanging out with us at the Blue Point Cast Fest just a week or so ago. We had a great time with everybody on Long Island. And
that was a great time.
fuck yeah, it was. We had a blast hanging out with people. Actually, Paulie helped kick the show off.
Yes.
With Larry from Spider-Bite, who you also were with.
Which, yeah, small story.
Yeah, exactly.
How are you feeling right now, buddy?
What was that?
How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. It was a great brew day.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like one of the biggest honors of like my career, that's for shit sure. And then we ended up heading over to North Fork Brewing Company. They kind of had a little like pseudo industry night. Rob Rafford from Uber Geek was there.
Nice.
Brian Smith from Long Island Farm Brewery. Wisconsin Beach was reffed. I'm starting to like lose track at this point. The distillers from like Montauk were over there too. Aaron was down there, who's with Better Man right now as well. And it was a nice little, just fun night. Like,
I wish
having some like post victory pints.
Yeah,
I wish coming home to talk to you guys.
I wish I could have followed you, man. That would have been fantastic, but
he has a show to do.
I got a job to do.
Someone's got to work today.
And we're talking with Chris from the Warbler, which you really, when you get the chance, you have to try some of the beers they're doing, bro.
I have
I heard you guys talking about butternuts and talking about the
man.
beer. Like, shout out to Pork Splash. Like, yeah, that I miss that beer.
Oh, Pork Slop, yeah, man, that was good.
Sure.
Today, me, myself, and Paulie, he was the host basically, and Larry from Spider-Bite. We brewed a little beer together. Today, something I'm not going to go into it, yada yada yada. It's a beer.
It's a beer,
and it'll be out, eventually in cans, and and it's going to be good. And we had a great time today, and we drank a lot of alcohol and ate some pizza and had a good time, which is always when it's with Paul. And of course Larry.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
But
great.
once the forklift is done, all the booze starts flowing.
Yes. Once the forklifts are done moving, then we start to drink. And it was.
And Steve tried to steal a bottle of whiskey, which is kind of cool.
Bro, I was so close to having that whiskey go home with me, brother.
Was it good whiskey?
It's a high-end whiskey, and I almost procured it. If it wasn't for a Mr. One Billy Powell from fucking Nightmare Brewing Company. That's right, Billy. I got my eye on you now, you son of a bitch.
Well, no one likes a rat.
Yeah, bro. It would have been. Actually, it was a fun little like thing I was gonna do, and it would have been hysterical.
Paul, I'm gonna save you two of these beers. You gotta try some of this stuff from Chris at the Warbler. We were very impressed back in July when we had him on. The show never aired. We decided to have him back on. We didn't decide. It was a unanimous decision that we needed him back on.
Definitely.
A, to give us an excuse to drink more delicious beer, and B, to hang out with him. He's live via Zoom tonight, so you can say hello. He'll hear you.
How's it going, bud? How are you?
What's up, man? Yeah, I'm the fourth Wort guy now.
I'm definitely looking forward to trying some of those beers, though, for sure.
I'm going to save you a few, Paul. I got a stout that I'm going to give you. Maybe a pale. The pale is delicious. But now we're drinking something different. So we're
peach.
Yeah,
peach.
I found a sour I liked.
As it's called, Squeech. Squeech peach.
We'll get into the beers in a little bit, but it's a peach flavored sour ale
with vanilla. And man, let me tell you,
smooths it out nice.
Yes, it is. You get some of those sours that fucking cave your head in. This is not one of them, but you still get that tartness. But
just enough.
But that back end is so smooth with the vanilla. And it's funny because Pete, I said to him, I go, "You're gonna like this."
Yeah.
And Pete does not drink sour fucking beer. We've learned that.
And I really want to break this down because this is one of your successful creation of a sour, right? It's one of the first sours you put together.
Yeah, we did. So that's Squeech is a series. So second in the series, the first being blackberry.
The blackberry was the first. I didn't get a chance.
So since then we have a smoothie sour on tap right now. Mike, I don't know if you had that one.
No, I think it came out. I was talking with your mom or Sarah, I forget who it was, about it being the next thing kind of up on the board.
No, it's Too Many Bears. It's a blueberry, passion fruit, black currant, Teddy Graham, wildflower honey, vanilla.
Wait a second. No, I had that. I definitely had that. Shit, that's right. I did have that, and it was
the purple
Eddie
one.
Grahams?
dude. It was delicious.
Eddie Graham.
And I was,
You savage, sir.
I ended up. Of course, I got to get the sour. To me, I love sours. So for me, it was a must. I got the pale. I got Gothic. I got the sour, and then you had another IPA. It was either a double or a single. Because I love IPAs, and everything again on the lineup was delicious. I did have that. I apologize. It was delicious.
Yeah, you better apologize.
You motherfucker.
You motherfucker.
But it didn't have any
had
can, so I would have brought it home.
that.
And I think this particular one I did not have, and I was hesitant because I'm like, sour. I don't bring back to the boys. Again, we know Pete isn't a huge fan, but at the same time, I said, you know what? If Pete doesn't drink it, I will, and my wife will. So ended up.
I like it.
Pete likes it. There you go.
Give it to Pete. He likes it.
Yeah, Pete likes it.
He'll drink anything.
Chris, Paul has a sour out there, blueberry sour ale. That's also one of my wife's favorites. Paulie, how do you go through your process for? Was it Midnight or Blue Moon or what's the? Not Blue Moon.
So it's called Blue Dream.
Blue Dream.
Blue Dream.
I was on the
Blue
right
Moon.
track.
Blue Moon.
Not the, does it come with the orange slices?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, you guys got
definitely
bought
not
out by
Blue Moon.
Miller's
I can
Coors? You
promise
didn't tell me.
that.
Yeah, what happened there, man?
That's crazy.
Paulie got bought out. It's Blue Moon now. Shit.
Yeah.
That was quick, Paulie.
if you want a
Coriander
Blue
for
Moon,
days.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've definitely not a Blue Moon. I promise you that. But it's actually a blueberry sour IPA, and it ends up being like a 24-hour kettle sour, and then we load up the hop back with dried blueberries.
That's
it
right.
whips through there
Yep.
on that. In the boil, it's all Azaka and Ella, and then going into the fermenter, once it starts ripping, we hit it with the blueberry puree, and then it gets dry hopped with double dry hopped with Ella and why am I drawing a blank? Ella and El Dorado. No, I'm sorry. Ella and Lemon Drop.
Oh, shit. That's right. Lemon drop.
Yeah. So like I use the lemon drop to really kind of hit that like Sour Patch Kid kind of note,
Yeah, man.
like sharp intensity. And the Ella just kind of really throws that like mango tropical fruit, kind of rounds it all out, while like the blueberries like stay sharp between the dried blueberries and the hop back and the blueberry puree, like as like a not really a secondary fermentation. It goes in at high corrosion, so I'd still consider that a primary fermentation.
Addition,
Unless like the yeast is winding down and then you're like taking it back up again, I wouldn't consider it a secondary fermentation. But
because once you
this is actually this is like the first one-off that we've actually rebrewed.
oh, cool.
It was our initial like most popular beer that we had done. It was our first beer that we sold out on, and it's the first rebrew, and it's come back with great success, and everybody's been loving it. And it was not designed specifically to pair with. There's a flower out there called like Blue Dream. And like it pairs flavor wise very well together with that flower. Bob.
Now, Chris, at this point to keep the conversation going, this is a sour malt beverage. Can you give us a little information on what makes it a difference between like a sour ale or sour IPA versus a malt beverage?
Yeah, it's the TTB agent you get when you submit your label. It's a sour ale, but they were insistent. It can have to do with like if you're adding like a flavoring, which we didn't.
Okay.
And so I won't get into again like the bureaucratic frustrations, but I've since learned that in New York State you don't have to go through the TTB if you're just selling in the state. So,
Yes.
Yeah,
Interesting.
We're just submitting to New York now, and that fussy little label issue has gone away.
And going forward, so our listeners know, you guys are a farm brewery or are you a microbrewery?
No. Yeah, we like to use exciting new hops, and that's,
Okay, microbrewery it is. I get you, bro.
And there's nothing wrong with that because
not at
it
all.
just seems harder and harder every year to do a all New York State 80% at this point.
I don't even know what it is anymore. But it.
What's
what
that,
is
Paul?
it, Paulie?
It's still technically 60%. They were pushing for 90%, but I think they've I believe the number is 60%. They because of the market having to like come back as far as availability of products.
Okay,
that makes sense.
90% isn't going to happen from what we've all come to understand, and it seems like it's going to be 60%.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it just makes it harder for every, when I had the brewery open still, we were a microbrewery, and it was all because of the grain, all the different malt we can get, and the hops that were not produced in New York State, and we needed to get them to make what we wanted to do. It's not for everybody, but certain people like to do it that way, and if it works, that's great. But go ahead, Bo.
The hard part too is like it was coming up to like a really high level of like consistency where it was like
Yes.
it was dependable and it was coming like I was like okay, like this is going to be sustainable and like doable and dependable. And then one of like the bigger like malt houses
Closed.
like local malt houses like just disappeared.
Yeah, man.
And we still don't kind of know how, and everybody's kind of like
It was 1886,
now.
right?
So
Yeah, 1886.
yeah, 60%.
Yeah, they just disappeared into thin air.
Yeah, like, that's going to be I feel like the best.
Yeah.
At this moment right now until something else like gets corrected along those lines, which is unfortunate. But that being said, there's still like that huge interest in wanting to do that.
No one replaced them either, right? They disappeared, and there isn't another malt there yet, is there?
To my knowledge, the facility still exists there, and nobody's replaced them. And but I can't speak to that. I don't have any knowledge.
Chris,
like,
any
inside knowledge or
any
anything
inside
like that,
information in the capital region about a new malt house opening up or something in the local area?
There's a bunch.
New York State Malt is one of them.
Who are they using it? Hudson
Valley.
Hudson Valley Malt, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so they just put in a new warehouse, I think.
Oh wow.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So there are malt kind of coming in to fill the gap.
They seem that 1886 was like one of the bigger ones. I mean, their facility was tremendous, but I think at the end of the day, maybe it was something they bit off more than they can chew, and the demand wasn't there, or either that, or was the product just they couldn't sustain it.
Now, was that a conscious effort, Chris, when you guys were opening up, just seeing what possibilities were out there, to get your ingredients and supplies?
I'm not sure I entirely understand the question.
No, when you're
going for the microbrew license
It's
as opposed
fine,
to the
brother.
farmer.
yeah, was it even a question, or are you just like, nah, I can't
No,
do
yeah, it was no.
that? It's a hard no.
He's like, and that's a no.
No,
I would have liked the privileges that come along with it.
right.
Yeah, as everybody
I
would.
think we don't have to get super into this, but they should be available to every New York State producer, regardless of
Percentages.
whether or not you're sourcing your agricultural products locally. But no, unfortunately, it's really tough if you're trying to do stuff that is on the contemporary side. It's hard because a lot of local like hops growers, there are agronomic issues, and there are issues with IP. Like a lot of those hops just aren't allowed to be grown by other programs other than the breeding programs that develops them and the farms that they license to. So I think Scott Beltman at Indian Ladder was like one of the only ones growing. I think they were growing Calypso. Was it
Really?
one of those hops that you don't see at New York State, grown in New York State very frequently, or maybe it was cashmere.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Cashmere
for
was
the longest time, it's hops like Citra and yes, definitely cashmere.
Centennial?
Amarillo. No,
If you know a New York
Centennial.
State grower that's growing Citra, let me know.
yeah.
Oh, bro, let me tell you, if one of those motherfuckers could get a hold of a rhizome or two and just call it something else, call it Citra,
Citro.
something,
Citro.
Citron,
Oh, I like
Citron. I mean, they would kill it. They would just kill it.
Called Citra with an S.
Now, is it something, guys, that you think, and this goes for Paul too. Paul, by the way, Chris, Paul can't hear you speak because of the way the system is routed. You can hear him, right? But he can't hear you. So that's the unfortunate part. I'll work with you and get you I'll softball you up some questions.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I just wanted to give you guys the heads up on that. But
Yeah, just the way the board is routed through the phone, but the board isn't rerouted through the software, so otherwise it'd be a delay, and you don't want that. So
totally got it.
Yeah, it's just a technical thing. But I mean, for what they do, in other parts of the country, is that something that could be done here in New York with things like Citra Mosaic? If they just got a rhizome and be able to grow that, would it still be the same product or close to it?
Nope.
For
I say no.
What little I know, I'm gonna say that's a loaded question as a generalized statement. I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, no.
It's kind of like the growing regions, like with grapes and whatnot, different.
It's all about the soil, brother.
Different flavors, and like the best way to describe it is honestly, Steve, no pun intended, being that we use these hops today, but the Fuggle hops, UK Fuggle hops are 4.8%, 4.4% alpha acid. American Fuggle hops are usually on average double that, 8% alpha acid, if not maybe even a little bit more. So just the different growing regions will produce different environments. Again, from my little understanding of it all, Citra here might be Citra there, but depending on how far you go.
Oh yeah.
And even that being said, it's when you have New York State Cascade versus a lot of other Cascades, in general, I've found a lot of New York State hops can be very floral in comparison to a lot of these other strains. But that being said, some of these vines have been going for generations and generations and generations, and those crops are always evolving, just like these strains or this or that, the other thing. So it's a little bit of a loaded question. Could they grow Citra here? Yeah. Would it be the same as it is wherever it's normally grown? Maybe. Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe yes.
I think the difference would be, you're looking at the oils. The soil's going to transfer a certain amount of what it can, and it's the same thing. Everybody realizes grapes. Grapes were put on the island here, freaking in 1977, somewhere around there. They were taken from California, brought to here, and they didn't know what to expect. And it over years, they grew to what they are, and they become world-class, vineyards on Long Island, but they didn't know what to expect.
It took generations
of
those.
And are those the same grapes as from, what they came from, and, this and that, and the other, and, that's the whole thing. It's could they grow it here? Yeah. Would it be the same? Yeah. Who knows?
And that's it. That's it. I know Ryan from 27 Hop Yards. I had a whole conversation with him about he was over in Australia, and he was there for the harvest. He was there for the harvest. He was. They have this whole hop harvest union that goes on, and they only harvest the hops for a certain amount of days, and then they put them in these bales, and you just let them sit, and then they give their workers 2 weeks off, and then they go back, and then now they package these things.
Yeah.
And he said the key to everything there was the soil is volcanic soil, and we're here. We
have glacier sediment. It's different, right?
The key here is we have dewy mold, which is really huge with killing hop plants. In Australia, they don't have dewy mold, and they don't have the same insects that killed hops here in the United States or on the East Coast. So they have an advantage. The amount of liquid that they put down for these plants. They don't have to build them up on a mound like we have to do here. They're flatter, and they reap a tremendous amount of cones compared to what we can here on the East Coast, or even in the West Coast.
And from what I've heard, South Africa is very much the same way because it's so dry that a lot of again, this is all from what I've been told.
Sure.
Apparently, a lot of those molds don't even exist there yet. So when they actually and I've been told stories about this firsthand from people that have been privileged enough to go out there and explore these yards. like when you go in there, like you basically get like you have to take a double bath and change all your clothes. And then when you step into the field, like
Like
you're
a-
wearing like only their stuff. And then
Yep.
like when you get back, you can like change into your own stuff and then go on your way. But
Yep.
like
Not
they're
to
taking,
infect
like,
any
that
of those
seriously
vines.
because like those molds don't exist there yet, and they're making sure they never do.
Yep.
Some of that has to do with the growing region. Some of that has to do with like whatever. But one of the beauty of all these things, you know, like you were just talking about the oils and this and that. We have that technology now to figure out, oh yeah, this is why this happens. This is why that happens. So we can process these hops accordingly, blah, 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 blah. Like all that knowledge is starting to actually come to fruition as opposed to like the why. There's not many more whys going on as far as like hops go and this, not the other thing. Like we're figuring it out as an industry and just making bigger, better, danker shit because of it.
The craziest thing about that all is before Prohibition, New York State was the #1 producer of hops in the United States, in North America.
Yeah,
and
then it was like the Blue Mold and like whatever fucking company that was that fucked it all up and for like the last like 30 years.
And what's I don't know, Chris, I don't know if you know come across anything like this, but I know. I've heard upstate they keep every so often they find wild hops still growing from the old hop farms up there, and I heard of. Go ahead, Chris.
Otsego County, where I started working at Cooperstown Brewing Company, was one of the 3 counties that accounted for 80% of U.S. production, and they used to call that region Hop City.
Oh shit!
And they're everywhere out there. You'd find
they are right.
Yeah, along old hedgerows. They literally are like you just walk out and find hops.
Have you like
explored it all?
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you explored like maybe getting some of these and doing like a wet hop at when it's that time of the season?
Scott Feldman, I think, was doing some of that at home, but no, that seems like a lot of work, and I'm
bro. At least you're honest with us. I love that about you, bro.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be a cool thing, but you never know what you're going to get. It could be a complete waste of time in the end. And
this is true.
And everything that you spend your time on and dragging out of the woods or wherever you are,
and
trespassing on people's property, trying to find this stuff,
getting shot.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, if it comes out like shit, then you get a wasted beer and you wasted your time and money. So,
Chris, you were talking about how you were going through and ordering. You really like your sexy hops. We just cracked open Gothics.
Yes.
And this thing has the backbone. It has the Mosaic. It has the Idaho 7 sexy hops, as we know.
Sexy time.
I want to really break down some of the beers we have and had before, but give us a little insight onto Gothics, because this is one of the I think it's the second actually double IPA we've had from you.
Yeah, so Gothics is the last beer in our Peaks series. We were just doing we named a number of our double IPAs after Adirondack High Peaks, and stopped doing it when we realized that another brewery's entire marketing revolved around that.
Whoops.
So we didn't want to be we didn't want to be horning in on their racket, but so Gothics will be the last one. But it's named after a peak. They all share the same basic bones, the same malt bill, fermentation profile, and then we play around with the hops. So on this one, we're using in the dry hop, we're doing DDH with Cryo Mosaic and Lupomax Idaho 7, which are similar products. I think that
I was just going to ask that. What do you find the difference between the Lupomax and the Cryo?
I have less experience with Lupomax, but the stuff I've used has I feel like been a little more potent.
Okay.
I don't know if it's just they're more selective with what they're shaking off in collecting, or just to it can also vary from yard to yard, so that it might just be their selection. But
yeah, it's true.
Are you using this
concentration of lupulin?
Are you using this on hot side or cold side?
I use it everywhere, but
okay. No, that's
everything gets a sprinkle.
Hot side, I'm moving into a newer product from John Haas called Spectrum, or I'm sorry, called Incognito. Spectrum is a cold cider.
Yeah.
And so that's improving yields. It's very potent. You have to be careful with the bitterness with Incognito. So, but that's like an oil that we're adding at Whirlpool. But I use a ton of cryo in my IPAs and
you kind of have to if you can get a hold of them because your yield that's the key right there.
Yeah, hop pellets absorb 1.3 gallons of beer per pound.
Jesus.
Yep.
So
that adds up.
at my scale, if I'm making like a DDH double IPA at like 4 pounds per barrel, then we're losing like 2-3 kegs of beer just on the flush.
Think of it that way.
There's
a couple
the beer
$100.
there's the beer that it directly absorbs, and then there's the beer you have to spend flushing the solid stuff out.
I remember
it adds up.
Yeah.
Oh, without doubt. I remember talking with Paulie when he was with Brickhouse, and he started using some of not even the cryo, but it was when you were
the hop oils.
Yeah, man, hop oils, and you were getting yields way above than the brewer before you was, and it just it makes your brew house efficiency way your yield is how can I say you're making money.
Yeah. You're finally making the money.
You're not fucking losing. You're finally making money.
Step one,
I
hop oils.
remember
Step
bringing
two,
those numbers to the bosses
profit.
basically, and just being like, "No, like we're creating this," and they're like, "Oh no, like you're saving that." I was like, "No, like this is like being created essentially out of thin air because it never existed before."
Jesus.
And that was a hard concept for them to like understand. And then once I showed them like the yields, it was like, yeah, okay, but yeah, I heard Chris on like the back end talking about the Incognito hops. See, that's what Dylan had brought over in that like jar.
Oh yeah,
that, like,
yeah.
That white,
today,
like,
yeah.
That was in comparison to 44 pounds of hops. That one, jar, which was like what the size of like a big Snapple bottle.
Yeah.
Essentially,
So yeah.
Right.
So today, one of the brewers from Great South Bay comes over and he has a not even a quart bottle, like Paulie said, it was like a almost like an Arizona style can.
I'm like 19.1 ounce.
Yeah.
Like Paul's tall boys.
It was just filled with like hop resin.
Resin, like oil.
Now.
Paulie,
Paulie, how many
Incognito hops? It was a Centennial. I believe those were the
Centennial. Yes, it was.
Incognito hops.
Yes.
What's the consistency of that? Is it
it's like almost like oil, like a paste if you look at it, but it pours
like
but
tree sap kind of?
Yes. But how many
room temperature? It's like very thick, like a paste, but like you have to warm it up, and then like it becomes a liquid where you can actually pour it out of the container. If you don't warm it up, you can't pour it.
Now that container, how many pounds of hops would that have really been?
44 pounds of hops.
Holy shit! And can you imagine them losing, like Chris was saying?
We're talking like 1.3 gallons, like per pound, like. Yeah, it's like all that stuff starts to add up. That Incognito stuff isn't cheap, but when you do the math on the back end between the yield, between the cellarman not needing to dump that, between you not needing to spend the money to dump that solid waste, now your dewatering tank like could be picked up that many less time. Like it all really starts to add up. Where even just on the raw material cost, it makes sense. When you look at it on the back end, it's like, oh wait, this is actually saving money. Like. On that side too.
Just think when you're trying to pull another pitch of yeast. That
exactly.
It's not as dirty, and you don't have to worry about it. Now you're getting a cleaner pitch that you could just repitch into another batch.
And then like you could transfer that down to the customer, and now they don't have to pay $25 a 4-pack or like whatever it is, and like everybody's happy. You know, like
efficiency. I hear this is what I'm hearing. Just all about efficiency,
bro. And the average customer doesn't realize it, but I know Chris and Paul realize it as I do. It's all about making the best beer that you can with the best products that you have
and a bottom
for
line.
The cheapest amount of money.
Like Paul said, to pass it on to everybody else.
It really it's a job.
Yeah. Chris, what were you gonna say?
I was there's the economic advantage, but it's also a different it's also a different flavor profile, and a lot of brewers are hesitant to get into these advanced products in a big way because of that, because it's seen as a less complete profile. My stance is that, like, yeah, it is, but they're taking out the gross stuff. They're taking out the vegetables.
Yes.
So,
no, really, you're taking out the vegetation.
Yeah.
You're getting the pure oils. Yeah. You're getting the flavors
intended
that you actually want.
Right.
Yes.
And how much, again, Chris, so you end up, 4 pounds in your system. How much, you said 2 kegs worth is basically coming back to you? So right there
that's like, that would be like a 4 pound per barrel hopping rate. Now,
Yeah.
I've been using them for since they came out, which is like 6 years ago, is when Cryo came out now.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, you're right.
And so I've been using it since release, because my old system was really, really bad with yields. I had poorly gross sized bright tanks on that system, and I initially did it for yield, and then just developed my own kind of technique with it, and so now it's that's what I use primarily, unless it's something I can't get in it.
Right. Chris, remind us again, what's your system looking like right now?
It's a 5 barrel stout system, 5 fermenter, 2 bright. So very small. I think we can probably max it out like 650 barrels a year.
650 barrels a year. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like, so when I went to a brand new brewing company that opened here in Lyndhurst, third one now on the strip.
Let's talk about that later.
Yeah, they're basically creating 10 gallons at a time. When you look at your system, you go, wow, what a big step up. But then compared to other systems that are out there, you would say, oh yeah, no, that's I'm only doing 650 a year. But that's still a fairly good size for what you guys are producing and then sending out, to the public.
Yeah, it's enough that we're not going to run out in house.
Right.
The challenge is getting enough product to distro.
Yeah.
And which we're starting to also get into. That's another new development. It's so new that I don't really have great info on it for you guys as to how it's going. We sold our first fleet of kegs that we sent out. All got snapped up, so that's great.
That's awesome, and that's all local distro.
Just the 5 counties surrounding Albany.
Nice.
And do you have room to expand when when you get a better handle on what distro looks like, and the demand obviously increases? Is there room to expand that system at the current location?
We can't really add tanks. We can size up on a couple, replace them, and go unitank on a couple fermenters, which will ease the racking bottleneck a little bit. But there really isn't room for much more stuff, which is okay.
Yeah. You don't want to bite off too much so that you can chew, right? I mean, at that point,
part of maintaining a desirable beer brand in this day and age is
some exclusivity.
Keeping it a little hard to
get.
Acquire,
yeah, man.
Making it a special thing, because
you can't find Treehouse anywhere
every
else
town's
other than their fucking breweries. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if we went over it this time on this episode. How did the name the Warbler come about?
No, he just said it. He said
I was making peepees.
Okay. Sorry. Fair enough.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it was his love for the outdoors.
Someone didn't press your button.
No, bro. Chris, you are correct. Nobody pushed my button.
Paul, before we let you go, because we got a lot to go over with Chris, give us the big plug for Ghost in Bayshore.
Well, real quick, just to reiterate one thing that Chris said, it's not just about the yield, like those like higher processed like hot products, they do create like totally different flavors, and it is also about like a new flavor experience for the customers, for the brewers, this and that, the other thing. Yeah. It's not just about the yield, it is like a 2-for-1 deal as far as that goes. So I wanted to reiterate that.
Oh yeah.
As far as Ghost goes, this week I'm going to be brewing Lady in Red, which was by far our absolute most popular beer.
When are you,
bro? Dropping again in beginning of December.
Why didn't you fucking tell me that today?
Lady in red.
Why did you?
Hey, I gotta
Why do
leave
you
a little
hold?
something
Why do
tickle
you
your
hold
balls
shit
with,
for
you know?
me? Come on.
I gotta give you a reason to come back.
Well,
you know?
bro, you're the reason I come back. Come
The
on.
marketing right there is brilliant.
Oh, I know. Oh.
And what else do you have on the schedule? You got Lady in Red. You got East Coast Ghost coming up. What do you got in the tank?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm like, East Coast Ghost is regular, so like that's
Yeah,
always
it's the core,
ripping.
right?
I got another batch of like Afterlife coming up, and
Yay.
I
Bro.
think we're gonna be cracking into some barrels pretty soon.
What?
Like probably one of the Belgians that I have going over there.
Hey,
It's kind of like a tasting room, like reserve thing, but yeah. Other than that,
Hey,
what are you
business
doing that
as
rice
usual.
lager again with the Thai basil?
Maybe next year.
Yay.
Yeah, not every one-off will be like a yearly thing. You know, maybe like an every other year thing. But
and what the fuck were we drinking all day today?
Skeleton Key.
Skeleton Key, bro.
It's the pale ale, right? In the white can?
Yes, yeah. It's a pale ale New Zealand hops.
we had that. We were drinking that. We had some pizza come in, and that fucking beer paired so well with oily, greasy pepperoni, and that beer was I had 4 or 5 pints. I don't know, it's somewhere around there. But
Those are 20 ounce. Those are your
yeah, oh, that's right. We were drinking 20 ounce.
Yeah, those 19.9 cans of 19
Son of a
cans of
bitch, you, Paulie. I love you, brother.
Paul, thank you very much,
right back
buddy.
at
I
it.
appreciate you calling in. Paul Comsick
Thank
from
you, guys.
Ghost Brewing Company in Bay Shore. Go to ghostbrewingcompany.com or check him out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that other good stuff. Appreciate it, buddy.
Chris, pleasure chatting with you too. Right back at you, bro. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, man,
all.
thanks.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, Paul.
Right back at you.
See ya. This is the Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GubsRadio.com. Give us a call, 516-465-3990. Taking your calls all night. Any questions for Chris from the Warbler up in the Albany area, capital region? Chris, I'm going to really quick stop us on Instagram Live because we have a segment coming up that you might have... was he part of? No, I don't think he
Yes.
did it. Well, he did it, but we didn't have an entry.
No, we didn't have the song.
No, we didn't have the song.
We didn't have the coolest song ever.
While I'm switching that over, Chris, tell us a little bit about, like I was mentioning before, and we didn't get into it because Paul called in. Opening in the time of COVID, opening in a post-apocalyptic universe that you were kind of trying to get your business up and running. What were the biggest hardships that you had to face while trying to get your business up and running?
To get your beer tapped in the Thunderdome.
Well, I told you guys how I think most things suck. But no, I thought COVID was pretty great. So, yeah, no, it was
COVID
great time.
was so awesome.
Yeah. No, it was really, really challenging at first. And our crowler machine kept our
Afloat.
lights on for those first couple months.
And you guys were doing deliveries and to-goes.
We were just doing curbside.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
our team is so small. We didn't
Goes
even
is to
have
go.
someone for delivery. So it was, yeah. It's like me and a bartender, and then my parents do a lot of helping out, around the place, and my wife helps out with bartending and social media. So it's really just a family brewery. And so, it was a scary couple of months to be public facing. It was hard to get the brand out there to people because, it was a time where people didn't want to, come in and check something new out. But that said, we had a great local response with curbside, and right away we were received by the community that knew we existed. And that's still been kind of a challenge for us. That's I'm not really. I'm a prolific consumer of social media, but I'm not super good at putting myself out there on it. And the brewery's kind of an extension of me at this point. And
Sure.
and I think maybe our marketing has suffered a little bit just because I'm not posting enough to feed the algorithm.
and
So true.
you are right dead on, bro. It's amazing how we just had a guy for our brewery that was doing social media, and I'm like, what are you talking about? You just fucking post once a day. He's like, no, you got to hit it the right time,
Yep.
and
There
the right
is hot time.
demographic,
Yep.
The right
and
fucking
all this crazy
hashtags.
shit. And yeah,
Well, I'll give you
hashtags,
for
yes.
example, right? So we posted something of a poster for an upcoming show a while back, It got 143 likes, right? Which is
Nice.
not bad, but it's pretty good, right? It was the time I did it that mattered. And everything since then is all just been on my time when I can do it, when I can get over to it, I'll post it up.
Yeah.
But even if it stays up during that time, it has to be posted at that time in order for, like Chris said, the
What is the
algorithm to really
magic
matter.
hour?
Right. I don't know. I do
It's-
know, but I don't know, and I can never do it during that time.
And
Yeah, you can look up what the best times are per day.
and it's usually
never a
early in the
good
morning.
time
Yes.
for you.
When people
It's
first
never like convenient for you.
No,
right.
exactly.
No,
Exactly.
So it's like a balancing act of like, all right, I gotta open the place.
right. Like you got
and
fucking
I wanna-
time to do this.
like and a lot of people will say like schedule your stuff in advance. It's like I don't have the picture then. Like, I don't have the picture like a week in advance.
Yeah.
And there
Like,
is some
this
good
is,
stuff on social media that you can
it's on
do
the
that.
fly.
And there are people out
lie.
there that just know these things. But for the average person, it's tough. It's tough to compete in that media market at this point.
yeah.
Really quick, we're going to say goodbye to our Instagram Live. Go over to gubsradio.com, go over to Facebook, over to YouTube, and check it out. By the way, just to circle back, Spider-Bite said they brewed one of their first beers over at Butternuts.
Yep.
Interesting.
I knew it.
I'm
I
still a
fucking knew it.
Still a big fan of Boris the Spider. And,
Yeah!
See, he knows the
all
deal.
those great beers.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
knew it.
Yeah. Hi, Spider Bite.
I was with my boy Larry today, and all that kept happening was anybody that came over by us while we were brewing. Again, we were just brewing a beer, yada yada yada, and they kept bringing up how you really have not lived unless you were with Steve and Larry when they're really drunk in like GABF, and I'm like, why does that keep coming up? It's because it's really
It's a thing.
It's a
real
thing. When Larry and I get together and we're drinking a lot of alcohol, things happen. That's all I'm going to say. Things happen, and you need to be a part of it.
Did you break any vows today, Steve?
I get. Do you
Do you understand?
do you guys know wrestling at all?
A little bit.
Do you remember the guy called the Sandman?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Do you know he used that kabuki cane thing?
Yes. Yep.
I got hit with that today.
Oh, so who had the cane?
They had a wrestling event at GSB at Great
yeah,
South
they did.
at Great South Brewery there, and Larry hit me with it,
Nice. Good for him.
and we weren't drunk yet.
You probably deserved it.
we
in
weren't
the
drunk
end.
yet, so yeah,
Well,
that's how it
that'll
goes.
happen. Chris, so we have a segment you may be familiar with. This is a couple of questions, actually, particularly three questions, with our own very Steve Pominski, and now we have his own entrance music for it. So we're going to play that, and then we'll get right back to you.
I'm that big right now.
Yeah.
Hey, you cool hemp cats. Tonight, we a very special presentation. 3 questions with our very own Steve Pominski. Yeah, Steve's questions. 3 questions from Steve. 3 questions. Steve's questions go. Skit scat scooty
The Scat Man.
I'm the Scat Man. Skip up. All right. So Chris, I probably did this with you before. 3 questions. I'm going to give you 1 question at a time. These questions are not they're not hard. It's just what you feel in your heart. No. All right. So Chris, what was that first beer that turned you on to craft beer? What was that one that you said, "Oh, I got to have more of this"? What is this? This is not Bud. This is not Miller. What's going on here?
I think it was probably Old Thumper from which
Yes.
is brewed. I think it was originally an English brewery called
Yes.
Ringwood Brewery.
I actually
made by Shipyard.
Yes.
Over here in the States.
I actually have 3 bottles of Old Thumper I had gotten while I was in Boston, and it was over at Shipyard.
Yeah, that's still like a go-to beer for me. They are they're on a Peter Austin system still, which is an open fermenter,
Yes.
flat bottom tanks, ringwood yeast, which is a yeast. I think generously, I'll say that it has a lot of personality. A lot of brewers call it ringworm yeast because it can throw like smoky esters,
Yes.
and it's notorious for being a diacetyl heavy strain.
Yep.
But I really love it in maltier beer, and
I used to
it
do
was cool to get to work with it at Cooperstown too, because they're also in the Austin system. But that's like when you see the brick kettle places, that's what that Peter Austin.
There you go.
is.
I actually had used that ringwood in an ESB that I used to do, and and again, like you're right, if the beer is not up to par, it will bring out some of the shitty flavors as much as it will bring out the great flavors.
Yeah, it's so awesome though in like English strong ales and South English porters. It's just, it needs the right, it's a Cinderella beer. It needs the right stuff. Cinderella yeast.
Yeah, there you go. Second, what's your favorite style?
Oh, I'm gonna go Pilsner.
Yeah. I know
There he is.
And we had your Pilsner last time.
Yes, we did.
And it was awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. So
Thank you.
it just one of those things that, if you're a brewer, you're going to love your Pilsner. And then you yourself know you have to produce a good one. And I think you succeeded at that. It was delicious.
Yeah, I'll focus more narrowly. I like German Pilsners brewed to the Southern style standard.
Oh, okay. Very specific. I like it.
Yeah.
So when you're looking for that, like out on the town, what's the beer you would like gravitate to?
Who makes a good one?
Me.
Yeah, buddy. That's what I wanted to hear.
And we will back that up with a firm yes.
Sure. Yes, sir. And that was correct. And that's correct. And question number 3. So you go out, you're at a bar or restaurant. What's that one beer you're hoping that they have on tap or they have available other than your own beer? What's that one you are looking for?
Oh, I'm gonna give you another brewer answer. And I'm gonna tell you Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
There you go.
All right.
Because it's not something I'm maybe getting in package that much anymore. But when you're out and you're kind of if I'm going to Applebee's, sign me up.
Well, that's probably what you're getting anyway. So
hook me up with that Sierra Nevada.
That or a Goose Island IPA.
No, I'm able to find 3s up here a lot. And they're an excellent
really?
lager brewery. Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's always nice to find.
Have they opened up a northern facility? Because they opened up a bottle shop here on Long Island in Huntington.
But that's really...
It's not the brewery. It's really just a storefront for like other things too. But it features 3s. It has an awning that says 3s Brewing on it.
Unlike Other Half, who is just finally opening up their Philadelphia.
Big Alice opened up upstate to Finger Lakes. Yeah.
I was there over the summer, and great place. They actually are doing a few different beers. They bought the facility from another brewery that went defunct. And
which one was this now?
Big Alice.
Big Alice.
No. Which
that I did not find out.
It's got to still be in the Think New York, Drink New York app.
Yeah.
I mean, Lloyd Harbor is still on there, so God knows.
Bro, we were speaking today about some of these apps are just
they're just not updated. That's the problem.
Really, and they're getting there. This past year was really rough on everybody. So
I was at the conference up when I was up by you, and I'm sitting in a boardroom talking about I went for an organization that does career and tech ed, and I'm just sitting there. I'm kind of like drifting off a little bit in my mind, and one of the guys that does HVAC at the state fairgrounds for the competition says, well, we got the new facility at the fairgrounds okayed. Everything was fine. It's really tough to get by Paul Leone. And I went, my ears perked up. I went, Paul Leone? What? Who's talking about Paul? Has he made? Because he's upstate. Has he made an appearance at the brewery at all?
Maybe cloaked in mystery. Incognito.
Maybe.
No, I hope someday to meet him because he works very, very hard for
Yes, he
us.
does.
And
He was actually just downstate. He was down here on Long Island a few weeks ago.
well, if you guys see him before I do, tell him Chris says what's up.
And I'll tell him to make sure he stops by the Warbler for some delicious beer
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I just thought, sometimes being up, north of where we are, I won't say upstate, north of where we are, he make the rounds, and it was so funny because I wanted to like just stand up in the boardroom full of older people that have no idea probably
Who the
about
hell are you talking
Paul Leone. I know who he is. I know Paul Leone. And it's just interesting. But he does go beyond brewing. He actually is a big partner with some of the heating and ventilation, the plumbing people.
Oh, shit.
And actually does do some stuff at the New York State Fairgrounds in order
no
to.
clue.
Yeah, neither did I. And I actually asked him. It is fun. It's just a lot of supervising children, and that's the only non-fun part about it. But just like me coming up to the conference in Albany, I do get an opportunity to kind of stop at a few places on the way up. It gives me an excuse to get up and out there and enjoy some of what New York offers. And thank God our conference in July was in Albany and again here in November because I really did enjoy the Warbler's beer. And I want to get into the beer now that our 3 questions are over because we went through a bunch on our last show. Now we have almost a completely new lineup.
Yeah.
I want to
definitely.
go backwards a little bit really quick. You were talking about the Pilsner. Give us a little breakdown about your Pilsner. What's the grain bill? What are you guys doing? What's the process?
So super simple grain bill. I really like Great Western pure Idaho Pils malt. So it's
all right.
It's a U.S. Malt. It's made at GWM's Pocatello, Idaho plant, and it's got just a really nice balance of mown hay and like a little bit of honey and fresh bread. It's just a really nice domestic malt. I got a chew sample of it a couple of years ago, and it really impressed me, and I started brewing with it, and I just love it. So it's that and a little bit of German Vienna malt, and a little bit of dextrin malt, which
Head retention.
We can that's the eternal debate among brewers whether or not that's doing anything.
Because it adds absolutely nothing to your fucking ABV. So, whether it adds head retention or not, or
Well, I'm assuming it does something. Otherwise, people would just ignore it, right?
It's the 3 malt. It's that little 3 malt setup, and then Hallertau Mittelfra hops.
Oh, bro, I'm so glad you
Water
said that.
profile is not super soft. I don't do anything like RO on our water. I just don't add any extra calcium.
Okay.
And so we're hitting like a 40 ppm calcium, which is enough that you're doing you're protecting enzymes in the mash.
How is the water up where you guys are? Soft, hard?
Like medium. So we're on like a few different heads, and it can vary. Our residual alkalinity is much lower than I'm used to brewing on, so the buffer strength is low. So it's at least easy to change the pH around, but
right.
We're moderately low calcium.
Okay.
Medium hardness. It's all of New York is hardish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Including the city, except for Long Island. Long Island is all aquifer soft. Yeah.
Yes. And the thing with Long Island, I'll talk to so many different brewers. Many brewers on Long Island don't add a lot of different salts. Like we like not a lot of calcium. Not. I mean, it's very interesting, and that's why I ask. How it is up where you guys are. I don't even want to say upstate.
No, see, I know. Now we're all like, don't say upstate.
I'm very aware of it now. No, and it's very interesting because, many people don't realize water is it's where you start. So if you don't have great water, or whether it be hard, soft, or we all know New York has the best bagels and pizza. So why can't we have the best beer?
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
Which we do.
Folks, really quick, if you have an opinion on what qualifies as upstate, call in.
516-465-3990. Give us a call anytime, any day. We are live here on the Word. You guys don't do a lot of additives to that. How you get to these levels of quality is what really is astounding, because it would seem like, you don't have a huge brew system. You have an extreme amount of knowledge that anyone that spends their time like you did coming up in the ranks and getting that information can gather. What do you think it is that separates your beer from other beer in New York without being detrimental to other breweries in New York?
Or a dick.
I mean,
but it's true. I mean, the what you have here so we just cracked open Flurpee, which is the second iteration that we've had. And we're both Pete and I are both going, oh, that's really
very, very good.
And they can't talk to Steve because Steve's just drinking it.
Yeah.
And it gets better as it sits out a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Which has been, yes, we've had it out for maybe about 20 minutes or so.
Yeah. It could probably even do with a little more warmth. But give us a little breakdown about this iteration of Flurpee.
So this one is a double version, which I think the standard is like 5.7 ABV. This one's 7.5.
Yes.
Very, very, very similar grain bill as far as the specialty malts go. We're using German chocolate wheat from Weirmann. I'm a big debittered malt guy. Some people aren't, but I'm big on that. Little pale chocolate in there. Little Cara 40 is like the darkest I go on a Cara malt or a crystal. And then we just goose up the base malt a little bit.
Yeah.
And I like to use a red wheat to get that higher protein, that richness.
Yeah, and you could feel it. It's not super thick. It's not like over the top, like it's motor oil level.
Right, it's not viscous.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's
not
substantial,
viscous.
but you can drink a can of it.
Oh my God, yes.
We're gonna be drinking more than that, by the way, because it's delicious.
I would assume you'd want to drink more than one can.
And so the for me, I had stepped away for a moment. The chocolate and the vanilla. When are we adding that?
So that's after fermentation has subsided and we've pulled yeast. Then the adjunct profile for this one is about a pound per barrel of Dutch cocoa and a pound of vanilla, which we hand make a chocolate sauce for this.
Really?
And then add that into the dry hop port and circulate for 48 hours.
What goes into the chocolate sauce?
It's literally okay. So the base.
Now you got us, bro.
Fun.
Yeah,
you got us.
You got me.
You hooked us.
So the base is actually the stout instead of like water or milk.
Okay.
The liquid base of it is the stout. So I'm cooking the stout. And then I'm just adding the powder and cooking it up on my hot plate.
Wow.
Bro. I'm man,
you got Steve here. You got Steve in a pickle. He's like,
fuck, bro, you got me, bro. I'm coming up there.
November 20th.
I like to, if I'm using an adjunct, I try to be as crafty as possible with it. I mean, I know I just told you guys that I put like Teddy Grahams in it.
Yeah, you did. You did say that, sir.
That was a collab. That's my excuse. Which we did with the Royal Meadery in Del Mar, New York, and check those guys out too.
Who?
Big shout out. Greg at the Real Emitter.
Oh, okay, cool.
Enjoy,
Next
guys.
time it'll be on my tour.
That's right.
you know, you got me with that only because different beers that we would brew, I would do similar things like that. I would take, you know, the Wort. I would take that beer, and I would add whatever I was going to do to it, whether it be caramel, whether it would be coffee, whatever, and I would add it. I would mix it. I would make it a part of it before I would add it back into that fermenter. And it sounds like kind of the same thing you guys are doing.
I know. I tried to do. By the way, when Steve mentioned the word, I was trying to,
There it is.
and I couldn't get it. I hit the wrong button. I'm like, wait a second, I didn't have that hot button
I
assigned
can
before.
do it analog if you need.
Yes, there you go.
As you should, sir.
I
As you should.
appreciate the reference.
But no, I mean, just, you know, it's every brewer does things differently, but that you just hit one of my buttons when you said you did that, because that was something I would do.
cooking the chocolate sauce.
I would definitely do something like that, because for me, I was incorporating that flavor into the beer. I felt it was actually, I was getting more out of it by doing that.
Oh yeah, and you have a little more connection to the product too.
Oh.
Good point.
It's time consuming, and it's
Yes.
you know, it's a
Yep.
pain in
But
the ass.
but that's the kind of stuff that people want to hear. They want to hear that you put your heart and soul into the brew, which included you handcrafting a chocolate sauce out of a
Of
stout.
the beer,
Yeah.
of the beer with the chocolate that you were adding to it. And were you using whole vanilla bean, or were you using an extract?
Yeah, I ground up vanilla beans in the food processor.
Yeah.
Added that to the chocolate sauce. So
Yeah,
that part.
oh,
you-
that
you
sauce.
did have to-
How did that taste,
Bro,
by the
I
way?
just like you call it sauce. I'm all about that right now.
so-
Sauce. It's all about the sauce.
the Long Island's the gravy, if you really want to.
Oh,
We're
stop
gonna-
it.
There it is.
Beer
Grandma
gravy.
always used to say she was making gravy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see? He knows.
You know what? I wish we had like listeners.
Yeah, we do.
Well, no. Like,
Over 500
Callers?
downloads in the last 7 days.
they will hear it later, but they're not going to be able to call in right now.
Right.
unless
Well,
they're-
they could. 516-465-3990.
Here we go.
Yeah.
And I would like to put this to fucking bed. Is
Yeah?
it gravy or sauce?
We could put a you want to put a
Is it-
Twitter?
Yeah.
Hey, what about paste?
Oh shit!
That's
Chris.
tough.
Chris, I don't know. I've never heard a grandma, like a Italian grandmother, call it paste.
Wait, so
They might have used the paste.
Where-
Paste
other
goes
grandma
into the
called it
sauce.
paste.
Yes.
You know, my
Or the gravy.
yeah, God.
All right,
My
so-
grandmother calls it gravy. My dad calls it
all
sauce.
right. All right. So here's the thing.
wait, I got it.
My
So
le-
I'm doing a poll. I'm gonna put it up right now.
Okay.
It's gonna be where's my quiz or my poll? Let's do
Quiz.
poll. And we're gonna say
And this really,
what should be the wording, Chris?
Marinara is it gravy?
No. Are we calling pasta sauce gravy or sauce?
Well, the,
Because you can't say marinara.
pasta liquid.
well,
liquid
there's
you put on the
because
pasta.
Well, it's got
many
it's
different
sauce.
varieties of pasta sauce.
Well, here's the problem though.
Only one of them would be gravy, though. Like,
This is-
it's not bolognese gravy.
But the thing is, this is the Wort, the podcast with Mike, Pete, and Steve.
Yeah.
And
I'm
we
a fat
talk about-
Italian man.
We talk about beer, and we're doing a no. I'm only fucking with you.
Well, the poll is a yes or no, so I can't do it that way.
Well, here's the thing. My last name is Pominski, so
Yeah.
I really have no leg to stand on with this fucking whole gravy and sauce thing.
That's fair.
But I did date, and I actually married Italians, and
Yep.
some of them called it gravy, some of it called it sauce.
Okay, so I'm putting it up now.
I'm going
Gravy.
I'm going with sauce.
Okay, you're going with sauce.
I would as well.
I called it sauce, but there's a lot of Italians out there that would,
City gravy, yeah.
yeah, definitely would say that.
Chris, what do you call it?
I call it sauce.
There you go, bro.
okay, all right.
All right.
So wait, so marinara, marinara.
There's not a Gwen Stefani song that spells
M-A-R-I-J.
that out for me. Is that
Okay, okay, get out of here.
No, there's a J in there, I think, right?
It's silent.
Marinara.
All right, so I'm putting it up on Instagram right now. Let's see what kind of responses we get. I bought marinara. Is it gravy or sauce? And then I'm going to run the poll just like that. What is that? Yeah.
MARINARA.
Yeah, so I have it. All right, good. I do pronunciate
Where's
well.
the J? The J
And we'll
should
see
be
what
in there.
comes back. Chris, I'm
There's
gonna
a J in there.
I'm gonna leave
Chris
it up
said
there,
so.
and in 24 hours, I will personally DM you the results of that poll.
Maranada.
Fantastic.
We'll get the end result, and we'll have a firm grasp on what the hell's going on.
And then after that, you need to make a beer cold, whether it's called sauce or gravy.
yeah, is it sauce or is it gravy?
The warbler. Is it sauce or is it gravy?
I don't know if you can name a bird after it though. That would be the
No.
problem. Chris,
You ever heard of the gravy bird?
yeah, great. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
gravy bird.
Gravy
or
bird.
or
Or
sauce
sauce
bird.
bird.
sauce and sweet, or sweet and sauce. I don't know. So I opened up a second can of Gothics. This was the double dry hop. You said Mosaic, Idaho 7. You've done another double IPA. Was that the what was the other one that we had last time?
Canopy? Is that
I think you guys would have had the
Yes,
canopy too.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah,
So
Canopy.
yeah, break us down Canopy again, because that was one of the ones that really stood out to us. This is delicious, but that one we were all looking at you like, holy shit, he's
That's
got
the
something
toucan
here.
one, right? One with
Yes.
the toucan on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and
so
again,
that one,
Pete's a big fan of the art. I just gotta keep telling you.
No,
he says it all the fucking time.
He's a very
I'm not
visual
like-
learner. He's a visual learner.
I'm not always such a sucker for like can art, but like I like that it's different, it's cohesive for the brand. Again, the Flurpy label is by far the best.
And then
This Angry Bird looking motherfucker right
and
here
then
is great.
And then what's inside of it is even better.
Yeah.
no, it's
I'm jumping back and
listeners.
forth. Yeah, there you go. So Canopy.
listeners,
Yeah.
Google bearded Riedling.
Bearded
Because they
Riedling.
look
Go ahead.
even funnier than is on the Flurpy can. That's
Peter is our fact
Peter's-
checker.
Yes, he's the Google
They are
boy.
very grouchy looking little birds. And really cute. They look like a pissed off little s'more.
yeah, no, that holds up. That is description for sure.
The pissed off little s'more.
That is a fucking.
I wish I could
That is a
immediately bring it
malcontent
up.
bird right there.
That is fucking awesome. That bird is a little douchebag.
You can play along at home. Just hit Control T or Command T on your. Oh wow, it is
That
very
bird
angry.
doesn't look happy about anything.
No.
You're right.
So break us down on Canopy, because we
down.
kind of already went through the Gothics.
Yeah,
Canopy
Canopy
itself was delicious.
yes.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about the advanced hop products, and so the Canopy series is an exploration of the technique called high density hop charge, or HDHC,
HDHC.
and
okay.
that is that the term was coined by Other Half, and it references the use of as many advanced hop products you can use in conjunction with some type 90 hops.
Mm.
And the idea is that you're approaching theoretical pound per barrel numbers like around like 15, which is insane. Like, you could never come close to that with type 90 hops without starting to leach out the really undesirable characteristics of hops.
And T90 are pellets for everybody.
Yeah.
Layman's.
Oh yeah, sorry guys.
No, it's that. We know it's for anybody else that might be listening. Sorry.
That's Steve apologizing for drinking all day.
Yeah, and then
So
Pete
ours
showed
probably
me
came
something
in
about
around 8 pounds per barrel. Like if you're doing like a theoretical like hopping, you know, if you're out there doing the math. But I really like the combination of cleanliness and potency of that technique, and essentially you're running it much like DDH. Although for this series, I started out with just a single, just big hop charge. I like to do it kind of tail end of ferment, help soak up any oxygen that rode into the tank on the hops. But that series has been really cool to explore. I wish that you guys had a chance to try the third one in the series, which we did with Citra Spectrum and Cryo Eldorado.
Wow.
What? It was it really like lemon meringue. a little bit of extra. Oh yeah, there was Motueka in it too.
What do you think you could change just the series name and just continue on with this experimentation of really cutting edge hops in your hazy IPA or double dry hop IPA lines? Is it something that you think?
Yeah, we'll keep exploring it. I mean, that's the part. That's what I'm in it for. You know?
Right. That's why I did this.
You're all in it.
You know, some people are out there doing classic styles, and I love doing them. But this has been like this is what has allowed me to keep brewing is exploring. You know, and you know, I'm still chasing some of the you know, the bigger names who are out there doing it first. Like Other Half did HDHC first. Like I hadn't even heard of these products yet. But it you know, the longer I'm in this business and the more I get to explore, the more I get to spin this my way and make beer that really reflects what I am as a brewer and what I like to drink.
Now, Chris, so this, I wouldn't call it post-COVID apocalyptic nightmare kind of stuff, but it's kind of coming out on the other end at this point, light at the end of the tunnel kind of feel. Things are good, right? I mean, we don't want to see breweries like you that are producing phenomenal liquid to disappear. Business is good. Everything's good. Give us the A-OK on that, please.
We're keeping the lights on.
Good.
I mean, I'm not rich.
There you go, brother.
Yeah, he's not driving around Beamers.
Not for nothing. You're never going to be rich owning a brewery, but you probably will be. You'll probably be happy, brother. You'll probably be happy.
Yeah, Chris, we'll rephrase that. Are you very happy with how things are going?
Yes.
Good.
I mean,
that's all matters, bro.
It is frustrating to to open something and not be allowed to have people come and enjoy it.
Well, that's the thing, bro. You're relatively new, but when you fucking opened up, it
was the worst.
Nobody could come to you. That's the problem. and so you're actually you get a year fucking pass.
Right.
So you get a whole year of like, hey, whatever happened, we just cut that out, and now you go from there and see how you're going to go. And from what it seems, you guys are doing.
You had the right start because the beer is fantastic, and like you said, distributors, people locally are picking it right up. It's going right out the door, which is awesome to hear. Before we get into the little wrap up here, I got to address something that I was joking with the guys before the show. So I was up there.
Shit.
I was up there
Chris,
on Sunday, 2 Sundays ago, and you and your wife walk in after a little bit of a rough night. Why don't you tell everyone your side of the story of what had happened that night? Because you guys were just done. And I was like, I felt so bad. I'm like, I'm here at the wrong time. I should have showed up a few hours later. You guys are hurt.
Well, the cool part is that weekend I got to officiate a wedding, which is awesome.
That's right. I forgot to say that. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Friends, or
congrats to Danielle and Andrew.
Hey, Mazel Tov.
Friends of mine, and love you guys. I know they're listening.
Cool.
They're definitely tuned in right now. But I think the mark of a successful wedding is if someone falls in a ditch, and
I provided that service before myself.
There you go.
It wasn't me or Mary, but it was a close friend of ours. So we're all thinking about you, Dave, who he's going in for surgery to have his foot fixed tomorrow.
Oh, he had to get surgery? Oh, shit.
Yeah. These things happen.
Comes with the territory.
He's got to have some screws put in.
It was that bad?
Yeah,
Holy
so
shit.
we'll dope him up really good.
All right, the key is, was alcohol involved?
No.
It was a wedding. It was a dry wedding.
It was a dry wedding.
Heavens, no.
So you guys were up in the middle of New Hampshire, right? In nowhere's land.
Vermont.
Vermont. Okay, yeah.
And so no phone reception at all.
Nope.
And luckily we did have someone there that was sober. So yeah, at like 4 a.m. That was also the day of daylight savings. So it was
you
3 a.m.
So
but still.
you gained an hour of
Yeah,
pain
exactly.
in his ankle.
That poor guy.
That poor bastard.
Yeah. Saw him today. He's in good spirits.
Good.
He just wants to get it fixed. So
His foot faces the opposite direction, but yeah.
you know what? It did before. Now it doesn't.
So wait, he had surgery today?
Tomorrow, actually.
Tomorrow, all right. Well, he's resting right now. So when he wakes up, tell him to listen to the podcast. He's got something to do in the recovery room. Just throw some earbuds in. He's good to go.
Well, the doctors will put it on when they're out.
There you go.
There you go. He'll hear it, Hey, I remember hearing something.
It'd be like Doctor Strange trying to revive somebody and just throw the music on. Did he say dancing a little bit to the Steve's 3 Questions theme song? I mean,
Can
you
we
guys
hear the scatting at the end of that theme song? You guys have that isolated?
I like I said, you and Mary were just completely obliterated. The long night sitting up in the hospital, being there. And here I am. I'm like, hi guys, what's going on? I'm like,
Hey, look, it's me, Mike.
it's me. And I was like, I'm just gonna stay cool, just stay low. Your mother, by the way, your mom and dad. I didn't sound bad. Sorry.
It really
and
did.
your mother too.
And your mother.
Your mom and your dad are as equal as hosts as anybody. They opened up to me like I was Barbara Walters. They were fantastic.
Barbara Wawa.
Fantastic people. You have a great crew up there. Was this a thought process when you guys started the brewery? Let's just make this a family business. And we have to talk about Sarah, because we talked about Sarah on the last show and where she came from and what she's doing. So give us a little breakdown of the kind of people you guys have up at the brewery.
Sarah is a banjo playing, unicycle riding physicist
Warbler.
who happens to tend bar for us right now.
There you
That's
go.
a lot.
That's a lot to take in, bro.
Yeah, it's super cool, lifelong learner. Will eat any beer ingredient that you put in front of her, which is fun.
Savages.
Including the hot pellets, which
Oh no, don't tell me that.
she'll eat them.
She'll do it with a smile too.
Yeah.
She's a trooper.
God
Absolutely.
damn, that's harsh.
So the team skews kind of nerdy, which is how we like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is just a family thing. And Mary and I moved back to this area for the free babysitting. But, they've ended up babysitting the brewery, because we haven't really, the pandemic has kind of postponed the whole baby making thing. So
I mean, there were things
the brewery's
happening, but no babies were in the future.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to work on that, hopefully.
And speaking of which, by the way, your dad was out there watering plants. Your mom's cleaning the bar. It was like this really is a really nice family-owned business. It's really, really cool to see, and it's relatively rare to have that kind of family contribution in a business like this. And then you guys, like I said, kind of slothed your way into the bar. Mary had her head down on the bar. You're just sitting there on your phone like, oh my God, what the fuck just happened in the last 12 hours?
I'm going to give you the version that Mike gave us.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Mike was like, yeah, I felt so bad. I felt like I was intruding on them because they looked like they had been beaten, been dragged through the fucking muck, and just said, I gotta come in, and I hope nobody fucking talks to us. and of course, Mike went, "Hey guys."
I didn't say hey
To
guys.
talk to Mike.
Yeah,
And thank God, I guess it was your mother.
Yeah,
that was there, and it made it.
Yeah, they ended up sending us home. I was gonna work.
Oh,
They were like,
your mother
"Chris,
was
we
from
can't."
what Mike was saying. Your mother was like the most awesome, most genuine, like wonderful person. Oh yeah, you're part of the podcast they're doing today. No, we're coming to get the beer today. The podcast is on Monday, and does he know that? And
but she was
but
but like you said, genuine. And
She was
it was
just-
one of those like,
yes.
oh, just they were out and they're going to come in. And I was like, oh, I feel bad before you even walked in. I'm like, should I come back later? I'm going to try to come back later. I even said to you, I'm like, listen, my meeting is from like this time to this time. I'm going to try to sneak back out and go. And it ended up I couldn't. But I got the beer and I needed to, obviously have the fantastic stuff that you guys are brewing. But when I left there, I just felt, like warm from your parents who were just so accepting. There was another couple in there that were there, and another guy, another guy that came stuff to go, and it was equal hosting to everybody, which was awesome to see.
One thing I want to know though, 1 out of 10, 10 being the worst. How did you feel that morning?
I am a professional.
Yes!
Yes! Yes!
I was drinking water all night. And so I was okay. I think Mary was too, but just because she was awake so long.
That's what it was. That's what I felt. It was more like you guys were
sleep.
awake.
Just no sleep.
So yeah, we were just exhausted.
There you go.
Also, it helps to be in Vermont, the Green Mountains.
Yeah.
So there are anesthetic options.
There you go. Yes.
And
feel
so
no pain.
I felt ready to take on the world.
Until your mom sent you home.
Until your mom said, "Go the fuck home. I got this."
Yeah, I don't know if I looked like I was ready.
Mentally, I was there. Physically, maybe
not so much.
But you guys, again, you came in like troopers. A great host. The place is a wonderful place to be and to enjoy beer. You really, if you're in the Albany area, it's just ridiculous if you don't check them out. And you're part of a bigger community up there. You have some good breweries in and around you. One of the ones that kind of stood out, and I don't know if you've been able to get over there. Have you been over to